Hello and welcome back everybody, Blue Dwarf here. Welcome to another episode of MC Eternal. Now, we've got a lot to do in today's episode, so let's jump straight into it. So, in between episodes, I've just gotten a bunch of stuff into our inventory, done a little bit of mining as well, set up a new tunnel back all the way down to bedrock, just been processing some of our ores as well. But now we are going to do a bunch of quests and complete all of them in one fell swoop. As you'll see, I've got a lot of stuff planned up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by making a builder's wand. So we're going to make some books to start off with. And to make that, we need to start off by making some paper. And then we can I'll just take half of that paper for the moment to make some more books. And then we can spread those books out. Standard bookshelf. And then it was a piece of gold. Make magic wood. Then we can use two of those with a piece of gold for making a builder's wand. That will make our building much easier. So I'm sure we'll be using that. As you see, that was a quest completed, and all of what we're about to do is going to complete even more of those. I mean, for the next item, we're going to make a diamond pickaxe. Simply, that's all we need to do because of the Nether adventure. We also grabbed some obsidian whilst we were down in the mine, just using our flux ball. So we can stick this pickaxe away, and we can also stick away our obsidian. We are also going to we can clear those away, make a lectern for one of the quests, and we can also make a bestiary from ice and fire using 3 manuscripts. And that will get us a few... that's for mining the obsidian. Craft a lectern to learn more about the world of ice and fire. Use 3 manuscripts found in dungeons to create a bestiary. So we'll just stick that sort of stuff in our sort of randomous-ish stuff for the moment. And we can take those 2 off. There's something about this rusty hatch from the Malice doors. Which actually creating the Malice doors, I didn't actually realise this, was an actual quest. Yeah, here it is. Create custom doors out of any block and combine any animation you want to create the perfect personalised door. So that was a quest. Collect that. The Rusty Hatch was also a quest that leads onto a few other things that we'll look at in a moment. For the moment, we'll just stick that away because we don't have much inventory space. And the next thing we were going to do, so yeah, make the door factory, the clipboard. So we'll make one of these. It was 3 pieces of paper, that and a feather. Apparently it has to be an oak one. They're not all dictionaried properly. Just using our crafting table on a stick. We'll create our clipboard. So apparently we can create a task list of things to do on here. Probably won't be using that really. Another thing we needed to create was a nature's compass. Now we got some jungle wood, some saplings, and a regular compass, which pretty sure we got from like an equipment bag. So I'll stick that in there with the rest of our equipment sort of items. So our inventory a second, and turret for a potato gun or potato cannon. So that's that turret. Then we need to create 2 barrels tier 1. This is part of a thing called modular turrets. A great mod. That's a different mod. But there's all sorts of different cool turrets that you can set up with this. I'm probably not going to be worrying about them too much, but we'll probably have a bit of a play around with them. We'll just stick that in our random items for the moment. Wood pressure plate can go back in there. So that was these 3 items. We're going to create some hanging lights. Just going to check a second whether did it specifically want us. No, it can be any color. So I think we'll grab some bone meal from somewhere in here, and make some of these hanging lights. So it's just 3 iron, a glass pane, and then a piece of dye, and then we can create. Been much easier if we had a and then we've got our hanging lights, which is that quest. Oh, it wants 5 of those. So we'll need to create another few set of bulbs, get some more iron, and there we go. 8 of those. That's that quest completed. What else have we already done? We got this one, which gave us 100 coins, potion of fire resistance, and a loot box. That didn't do it. Didn't give us anything. Glass. No idea what happened there. Well, so we got the lectern beastry things, which gives us a bunch of stuff there, which we can just stick in our random items chest for the moment. And I think that's just random, just a piece of obsidian, so that can just go in our blocks for the moment. And so that's that one. Then we've got the sandwich table, which is a crafting table. A crafting table, what am I on about? And we've got the sandwich station. What this can be used for. Seemingly can be used for creating some form of sandwiches. Obviously. Should have figured that. And then we can take some of this. We need some oak wood. And we can create an oak crate. Just grab one of these. And that's that quest completed. So I'm going to go through these, collect these 26 quests we've done, and we'll be right back. So now we're going to be looking at a mod which I've heard great things about, which is Electroblob's Wizardry. Now we're just going to jump into this with the quests. The first one of which was to get a crystal flower. Defensive spells, healing spells, offensive spells, even utility spells. We have it all. And we're going to make the Wizard's Handbook, which we can simply make with a book and a magic crystal. Included with the standard ASCII tome, but we've got this one now, so that's fine. We can claim the reward on that. I'm going to leave those for a second in case we have that one of any of those books already. Apparently we have the magic missile there, which we'll see about. And we now want to make a magic wand, and we can just do that as so. With a crystal, and we have ourselves a magic wand. Apparently that completed a few quests. Got a loot crate, torch arrows, which we'll just chuck in our random things chest. And we've also done discover a wizard's tower. So yeah, I did find a wizard's tower whilst I was out looking for the desert. Can't use my correct controls. So somewhere up here, I think. I don't know. It was somewhere around here, and now there it is over there, Wizard's Tower, over in the glacial biome. I didn't actually say, but the reason why I was looking for the desert is because I wanted green dye for making the dank null. This guy over here, because of course to make each of these panels I need lime glass, which means I need lime dye, so I need green. But yeah, so I did find a wizard's tower, and go back to our magic section. We found while exploring more information referred to in the wizard's handbook, so we can claim some of these things, and then we've still got that one there. So you sense something for which you are certain the primal energies that exist within my world have expanded twofold within the Twilight Forest. If I'm to become the most powerful wizard, I must venture forth and claim this unknown power. So we will get to the Twilight Forest, but we're not doing that today. So I think the next thing we need to do is create an Arcane Workbench by the looks of it. Using the Arcane Workbench, you can apply spells to a wand. You level up a wand by using it enough until the experience bar is full. Only then can a tome of Arcane be applied to upgrade a wand to its next power level. Arcane crystals can also be placed inside the crystal slot to recharge a wand with mana. So let's see how we see about making this thing. We need purple carpet, which we have blue dye from lapis. Stick those emeralds away for the moment. It's just our Electroblob's chest, which we're just going to put some of this stuff back in for the moment. And we need some red flowers. Poppy! Chuck this in here. We have no power left. And we have absolutely no power left. That's fine. This gives us all the purple dye we need for the moment, and we can just grab some wool. And it wanted purple carpet, and 2 gold nuggets, which we can simply get like this, and block of lapis. It's weird. It's 9 lapis. Is that everything we need? We need 3 stone. Stone or cobblestone? Stone. Can't always tell with the chisel stuff, and apparently unlocked a bunch of chapters in our Wizard's Handbook. So there's a lot of stuff in here. I will probably end up having to read through a lot of that. But that's our Wizard Arcane Workbench. So we can grab some of these. And so we can have, I think we have to look at the book really for this, because I don't really know this mod whatsoever. So, the Wizard's Handbook by Electroblob. Right. Greeting wizards. This book explains the many ways of the arcane and how to use them. This is no ordinary book, though its pages will materialize before you as you discover more about the magical world. That's obviously how we're unlocking pages. Use the arrow buttons to turn the pages, and double arrow buttons to quickly flip between sections. Use the central menu button to return to the main contents page. Click on any purple link text to jump straight to the relevant page. right-click the bookmark to move it to the current page, and left-click to return to the bookmarked page. Okay, so that's useful. So if we go over here, we can bookmark certain pages. So we also said we can and then we click to go back. Okay, and then if we also go somewhere over here, we can also use the contents page, and that gets us back here. So that's very useful, actually. I've never seen a book quite like this, actually. So to get started, you need wand. Magic wand crafted as shown. We've got that. Got the Arcane Workbench. A spell book. These can be found in chests dropped as loot or purchased from wizards. You can make a beginner's spell magic missile as shown. I think we already have that one in our chest of books. You will also need a bunch more magic crystals to supply your wand with mana. Mana is the arcane energy that gives wizards their power. It is not a physical substance in its own right, rather it's an ever-present aura which permeates everything in the world. In particular, it manifests itself in naturally occurring crystals, which can be found embedded in rock underground. Wands can store mana within them, and this mana is channeled into the spells that you can cast. Different spells require different amounts of mana depending on how powerful they are and how long they last. So yeah, we've been mining some of these crystal ores underground. It's widely accepted that mana cannot be created or destroyed. First law of thermodynamics right there. And that when a spell is cast, the mana it channels is simply dissipated into the surroundings. Indeed, this is how the vast majority of mana exists, spread thinly throughout the world. However, to be of any use, it must be concentrated either naturally over thousands of years, the crystals on the ground, as this is the case with the crystals on the ground. Okay, I was just making note, but apparently that's exactly what it says, or artificially, an advanced subject not covered in this book. Maybe there's an advanced book, maybe. There also exists various ways of making spells more mana efficient and covering some of the mana dissipated during spellcasting. The wand is the implement of choice for a wizard. With it, you can cast any spell, provided the wand can contain its power. See tiers. Wands come in many different varieties, but you will almost certainly start with a basic magic wand, which is the one that we currently have in our inventory. Most wands begin with their life as a simple arrangement of magic crystal of some sort attached to a wooden stick with a golden nugget affixed to the other end. The crystal is, of course, the source of the wand's power, as it provides the focus necessary to channel spells. The rest of the wand is important too, though, as it provides not only a means with which to hold the wand, obviously, but also a path through which mana can be channeled and directed. As more spells are cast with a wand, it grows more efficient. That's something cool. At channeling spells, and therefore casting spells of greater power, this effect can be discerned from subtle changes that occur in the shape and appearance of the wand itself. Also, it will actually look different over time as well. As a wand grows more powerful, its crystal will become more vibrant, its color may change depending on its element, and after a while the wood from which it was made will start to grow and twist into a more complex shapes. Sounds like a really cool progression style. When holding a wand, a small heads-up display will show in the corner of the screen. This indicates the spell is currently selected along with a pictorial representation of it, and if the spell has been cast, a cooldown bar indicating the time until the spell can be cast again. It also shows the names of the next and previous spells bound to the wand. To switch between spells, use the NMB keys. These can change in the option controls. You can also switch spells by scrolling the mouse wheel while sneaking. When viewing an inventory, however, a wand will display how much mana is stored in it, along with its currently selected spell and any specific abilities it may have. More in-depth information about a wand can be viewed placing it in Arcane Workbench. I think Oh, that's annoying. I should have bookmarked where we were. I think that was... Oh, and I used that wrong. So right-click it to bookmark where we were. So I think we're just going to place this Arcane Workbench down for the moment. Place it over here with our Malice other machines. So we put our wand into the middle of it. So I think this is how we charge it, if I remember correctly. So that gave us 100 of 700. I think we can just chuck all of those in there, and it just gives us a full 700. And we can grab some other novice books just to start off with, and see what these different ones do. So yeah, we have the magic missile right there. Whole thing. So magic missile, and then we have a bunch of unknown spells. So then that assigns all of those like that. I wonder. So magic missile. Oh, just shoots a. Okay, so that's easy to use. So trial and error. Identify an unknown spell by casting it and seeing what happens. Well, apparently we didn't know what that was, even though it showed up as that we did know what it was. And spell books. We've got that reward. That goes on to other things, and I think we have to do a bit more reading on these spells because I don't want to mess it up. A wand is useless without spells to cast with it. Spells are recorded in two forms: in books, which are permanent, in scrolls, which are temporary. Spell books are of little use on their own. Instead, they are used to bind the spell they contain to the wand. I've just been doing all of this. Scrolls, on the other hand, have serve a different purpose. Right-clicking or holding one will cast the spell that is bound to it, destroying the scroll in the process. Like spell books, scrolls can be found throughout the world, but you can also make them yourself. See enchanting scrolls. Okay, so this is also saying that we can open this now and actually see a fires a bolt of magical energy in the direction you are pointing. Costs 5 mana, and it is a novice, and element is none. As it says right here. Wait. Yeah. Spellbooks can be found throughout the world, and it will not take you long for you to come across one. When you do find one, you can mouse over the spell book to see basic information about the spell. You can also right-click whilst holding the spell to read the actual more about the spell book. That's all about scrolls. Useful when you need to use a spell once or twice on a particular quest but don't want to take up a slot on your wand. It should be noted, however, that they are an inefficient method of casting spells compared to using a wand. To the untrained eye, the magic runes with which spells are written are unreadable. In order to identify a spell, you could, of course, cast it and see what happens. Okay, so you can just find out what they do that way. The do so may cause unwanted side effects. Okay, so trade-off there. Many spells need certain conditions in order to work. Furthermore, there is always a chance of misreading an unknown spell when casting, with potentially dangerous consequences. Hopefully that doesn't end too badly then. Depending on how powerful a spell is, a safer and more reliable option is to use the Scroll of Identification, which can be found in chests or purchased from a wizard. Right-clicking whilst holding one will identify the first unknown spell book or scroll on your hotbar, consuming the Scroll of Identification in the process. Right. So that was a lot of reading, and we can just bookmark that there for the moment. So we bound spells and charged the wand already. So I think what we're going to do just for the last bit of this episode is we're going to go outside and try and work out what these you feel an icy chill rush through you. So I think that's a negative effect that you can get. I think there were certain conditions. So casting it on nothing, ice spikes from the ground beneath your feet. Maybe it didn't work because of the ground type. Oh, spell freeze. So let's read what this one does. Element ice freezes the target for 10 seconds. Will also freeze water and create snow on the ground. Okay, so if we no. This doesn't seem to be working. Just hold shift to stop us bouncing like crazy. So that's the first one. Then we've got magic missile, and let's see. Does this one do anything? Oh, and we got a heal spell on there. Heals the caster by 2 hearts. So yeah, as we're at full health, that doesn't work. Thunderbolt. That seems like a cool thing. Lightning mana costs 10. Shoots a bolt of thunder which knocks back targets. I'm just going to grab my staff of traveling a second. And we are going to go up here. So, got some animals up here. So if we do, okay, so that does does some damage. Don't want to kill that guy, but let's try it out on these guys. I think there's a bit of a range on this. Oh, and that's a vampire. So just about 3 damage by the looks of it. Not very easy to aim with these things. Then we can also use the magic missile, which also seemingly does 3 damage. Though we can kill with it. Let's see what this one does. And we have nausea. Mind trick. No, really hate that nausea. Mind trick. Let's see what this guy does. Necromancy. Confuses and disorients the target for 15 seconds, rendering it unable to attack effectively. The effect will be dispelled if the target takes damage. Okay, don't know if that one is really that useful. Yeah, those guys can't really hurt us that much because of the fact that the way they're supposed to kill you is by carrying you up and dropping you from a high height, as they're harpies. Harpies, even. So, what was the difference between Thunderbolt and Magic Missile? So, Thunderbolt shoots a bolt of thunder which knocks back targets. Shoot a magic energy in the direction you're pointing. So, there's not much difference, but I guess this one has more knockback than the magic missile. Which we've got hard to hit these guys with it. My aim's just terrible. Anyway, let's see what the other last book is, because I think we have one more. This is looking very nice from up here now. And we can bounce back over here. Come in here. And there was one more spell, I think it was. So come back in here. Now, I think if we have it so that it's not a whole 100, I think it wastes the mana. So we're going to want to be careful with that. But we've got a bunch of these crystals, so I don't have to worry too much about it. So we'll keep, as far as I'm aware, this goes clockwise as these go down. So I think I'll keep the, well, what ones we definitely know we want. We'll have Magic Missile, Thunderbolt, Heal, Freeze, and we'll see what this new one is. So then we've set those as in that order on our wand. I think that's the way it works, isn't it? Magic Missile, Thunderbolt, Heal, Freeze, and our Unknown. I am enjoying these doors. It's nice not to have to... Oh! And Snare. So, where did that one go? Snare. Element Earth, 10 mana cost. Sets up a trap on the ground which damages and briefly slows the creature that triggers it. Can we trigger it? Yes, we can trigger it. Or it's supposedly gave us slowness 3, but I don't feel like I'm that much slower. Anyway, we'll probably end up just using Magic Missile and Thunderbolt and Heal for the moment. So that's all we've got time for today, guys. We'll carry on looking at this magic mod of Electroblobs. Should be good fun. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.